The question that I'm often asked, I know other guys as they're feeling called to plant a church often receive this question as well. Often very sincere from the people that are asking it. They'll say something like this. For instance, in Genesee County there are hundreds of churches, and they'll say, why do we need a new church when there are hundreds of churches in Genesee County and most of them are half full or less than that? There's a part of me, to be honest, that kind of wants to pause for a second and say, well, I think your question kind of answers itself. There's a reason for that, but also, things are changing. The spiritual climate's changing a bit, and there are more and more people growing up now that don't know what church is, and we need to have a ministry to reach these people and to minister to them. But also, too, when you read the statistics and study the effectiveness of reaching people, those churches that are 0 to 3 years old have a way greater impact upon their community and a much greater impact in reaching people versus a church that has been more established. So that's a few reasons why. And also the other question is, well, why don't you just go and take one of those churches that might be smaller and struggling a little bit and just go pastor those? And again, there's a part that wants to pause and say, well, it's probably a reason why they're where they're at, but nonetheless, it really comes down to this. It comes down to a different calling. There are those that are called to go into that and to go in and to patiently work with that flock and try to grow that church. And there are others that are called to plant foundations, that are called to church planting. So at the core, it's really answered by the fact that God calls different people to different service. None are more important, none are better than the other one. They're just very, very different. And my calling is to plant a new church. And there is a great need in this area. And that's why we are starting in our hometown. We feel called to plant, to grow where we are planted in this area.